Hello, welcome to OFC Trading College community. And today, I'm going to take the lead to teach you and encourage you to understand the importance of self-care. When we look at self-care and how to protect your natural resilience. Your natural resilience is very important. What you were born with, your inbuilt, your practical, your natural being, what you have as a capacity in regard to who you are, depends on where you live or the environment where you live. It doesn't matter whether you are white or black, Asian, but the most important thing is that self-care is very important for everybody, right? So today, I will be talking to you and giving you insights on self-care and natural resilience so that you have opportunity to building your true strength when it comes to your everyday life. My name is Alex Oni Edikin. I'm one of the lecturer Osafeske OFC Training College. We provide health and social care and courses in regard to mental health courses, diploma, awareness program, and work-based support for anyone who wants to work in the care industry. So now, let's go back to self-care. As I said before, this topic is based on self-care and how to promote your natural resilience, to keep your natural resilience so that you can build your true strength in able to manage your everyday life. First, what is self-care? What is self-care? So I'm going to break it down to make it easier for you when we look at self-care. If you have any question at the end of the day, you can ask. So now, let me define self-care in the context of able to build your self-care and natural resilience. So now, self-care is the intentional practice of looking after your physical, your mental, your emotional, and spiritual well being. Hello? Self care is the intentional practice of looking after yourself when we look at the physical, the mental, the emotional, and spiritual well-being. So it's very important when we look at the psychosocial capacity of individual able to balance their everyday life. So what does this really mean? If we look at it in a context of you understanding that whatever you are doing in regard to self-care, what does it need to focus on? So now it means making conscious decision. You have to make conscious decision that protect your well-being, that protect your health, to restore your energy and help you function at your best, at your natural capacity, not as a selfish act, like you're trying to please individual, trying to make things the way it's not, but as necessary, and you must be disciplined for your personal stability and success. So being disciplined is also very important. So the simple language when we look at self-care is about you working towards giving yourself permission, hello, giving yourself permission to rest, to relax, to reflect, and grow so that you can keep giving your best in your day-to-day activity. Maybe you have service that you are delivering at work or in the world around you. So self-care is about giving yourself that opportunity, that capacity, that permission to rest, relax, and grow at the same time so that you can keep giving your best to the world around you. So now we have understand when we talk about self-care, why it's very important when we look at the physical, the mental, the emotional, and spiritual well-being. So now, why is self-care very important? Why do we need to build our natural resilience? Why do we need to build our natural resilience? So now, if you look around you, everyone was born with a purpose. Every individual were born with a purpose. I remember last time when I finished a seminar, I happened to branch one of my old friends' place. There was a question she was asking that why is it important that people need to understand who they are, right? So now you need to understand your natural resilience, who you are. Some people were born to be a preacher. Some were born to save life. Some were born to request for support. While some were born to protect others. Some were born to protect themselves. Some were born to give, to promote wellness in the community or to give businesses. You have CEO. Not all CEO or company owner knows anything. Some of them didn't even go to school. But they were born to create a company so that everyone will be working as scholars, wherever you are from, whatever discipline, you'll be working there. So the fact that your natural resilience is very important. You have to keep that gift. It's a gift to every human being when we're talking about natural resilience. So now, at the end of the day, I know some of you is tapping, just asking, what is resilience? So now we're not going to focus on that, but we're going to focus on some capacity, things that we actually, let me answer that question because that will promote what we talk about. Why self-care is very important to build your natural resilience. So now, let's say resilience is the inner capacity to recover quickly, is the inner strength, is the inner advantage to recover quickly from any challenges or difficulties. That is resilience. So anybody can have physical, mental, spiritual, or social resilience. It can even be family resilience. It can be friends resilience. Maybe you need a cash now. You have someone who will always give you that cash. You think about that person. So when you poor, you have nothing, you run there and get it. Maybe you know your work is the one that pay your rent. You will always make sure you go to work because your work pays your rent. So that when it comes to physical life challenges, mental life challenges, how to keep on with our day-to-day life. So we all have our natural resilience that is inbuilt. We don't rely on others. However, you rely on your own capacity to have that strength. If you have someone to ask, if you need help, if you can give, if you can create. So your natural resilience is the inner capacity to recover quickly when you are facing challenges, when you are weak, you can't be able to do all this. Some people will say, train your emotional intelligence. You need to have emotional intelligence. No. If you do not build or understand or train your natural resilience, you cannot be able to understand your emotional intelligence. No. You need to know who you are. So you know what direction, what structure. Your life should be structured based on who you are, how you overcome things, how you deal with issues, how you deal with challenges. Something that are really, really blocking the natural energy from moving, or your social energy from moving, your physical energy from moving, your spiritual energy from moving. So it's very important that we understand what resilience is. So if you want me to say it again, resilience is the inner capacity, inner strength to recover quickly from challenges or difficulties. So when you practice consistent self-care, right? When you practice consistent self-care, you strengthen your resilience. You make your resilience more natural, become natural. That's the ability to adapt, to endure pressure, and stay focused despite how that daily challenges will come up. You know, lots of us, we are facing lots of things. If you are immigrant in the international community, you might be facing immigration challenges. You might be facing right to work. Some people can be facing education, like those who are at university right now. You might be having some academic stress, academic challenges, right? So now When you understand your natural resilience, your capacity to overcome those things, then it's easier for you to fight them, to deal with them, to manage them. Sometimes we can be aware, not able to build our natural resilience. Whereas self-care, self-care will help you, right, to consistently to have that strength to build your resilience so that your natural ability to adapt, to enjoy pressure, and to stay focused no matter the challenges or environment you are. That is why it's very important. So that we have looked at self-care, we understand the importance of resilience. We also understand why we must protect our natural resilience, right? So now, the question I'm going to ask you now, who are you? Do you know who you are? These are questions we tend not to understand. This is not a competition. Just sit in your room. Sit in your room. Relax in your room. Just be in your, don't let anybody ask yourself, who are you? Who am I? Who am I? So who are you? Who you are when we talk about value, respect, capacity, strength, how you manage things. Do you value yourself? Do you understand yourself? Can you take time to see yourself as being something that you think this is who you are, able to build that strength and succeed in every step of the way to continually reminding yourself of who you are? This is very important. So I'm speaking to you today that whatever you are doing is very important you understand who you are. When you understand who you are, now today I've enlightened you what is self-care. I've enlightened you what is resilience. So that the next step is how to build self-care. Why self-care is very important in resilience. So self-care builds resilience in the first place. How? Self-care builds resilience in different capacity. It helps you to calm down, right? It's like energy. When you have good self-care, better self-care, so it helps you to calm down. It's a calming down energy, either of your mind. It reduces stress. It prevents you from overloading, from being in a burn-out level that you cannot take it anymore. So self-care build resilience, and it also help you by calming down your mind, your spiritual being, your physical being, your strength, that energy that will make you overreact. No, you also strengthening your self-belief. That is why it's very important. I don't know your self-belief. I don't know your self-belief. My self-belief is to empower leaders, to make leaders succeed, to promote energy in environment. When I walk into environment, even if I don't know what is happening there, I don't know anyone there. When I walk into environment, my energy moves with me, that everyone in that environment will feel it. They will feel the energy. Some will be able to ask their man, who is this person? And sometimes I've seen something coming up. Do you know what I realized about my self-care and natural resilience? I've come to realize before I used to struggle when I see people challenging me, people trying to, like I remember last time there was a challenges. One of my boss was saying I'm too defensive. So now, when he said that word, I had to do research. What does it mean? Now, I understand the meaning, the definition of being defensive. However, I want to understand in the context in which someone said I'm too defensive. So now, the way you look, the way you appear confident, the way you do things, the way you strategize your ways, your lifestyle, your being, you can look defensive to people because some people want to override you. They think they're your boss. So whatever they say you should do, whatever direction, they already think whatever you are doing in your capacity is wrong. That's the first thing. whatever you are doing, just like penalty. Coach in a football field normally choose who they trust to play penalty. However, anybody who feels, okay, let me play this penalty because the person is eager to make sure they win the game, the coach will not let you. It's always happening. It's happening in different football. So coach is always like focusing on, oh, there's penalty. This is who to win this game. This is who to play this penalty. So when it comes to individuality, you are responsible because you are your coach, you are your leader, you are your practical action. Anything that happens, you are the one to be responsible, either good or bad, you are responsible. So now, when it comes to self-care building resilience, it's not only about calming the mind, strengthening your self-belief. It reminds you that you deserve peace, you deserve progress, you deserve respect. Hello? Now, this might be too much for those who are learning for the first time, or for those who have been in TikTok for a long time, listening to too many coaches confusing you about self-care, right? So now this is a deep down on what is self-care, why you need to improve your self-care to build your natural resilience, and what is natural resilience. So now we are talking about self-care, build resilience by calming the mind, strengthening the self-belief. It says it reminds you that you deserve peace, you deserve lonely time, you deserve space, you deserve a moment, you deserve progress, and you deserve respect. In the first place, respect is the key word here. Now, let's look at respect. When you understand, when we look at human rights regulation, respect is the key act of human rights, respecting individual, respecting the community, respecting the environment, respecting the being, right? It's about human being. Human rights act, human rights regulation is centered on human respect. So now, when we talk about self-care and natural resilience, you need to understand the context in which you are strengthening your self-belief. So the next one is improving energy and your well-being, because now you understand what is your resilience. You understand your capacity. You understand your strength. You understand your weakness and strength. So now you need to know how to improve that energy and your well-being to support your body to handle long-term crisis. Hello? To handle long-term crisis. You might be asking me, no, I'm not going to get into trouble. I'm not going to face any challenges. I'm not going to face this. You know, there are some people who are religious, right? They've been convinced by the wrong pulpit masters, telling you life is like this, there's no issue, there's no problem, there's no challenges. If there's no challenges in this world, I would not be standing today telling you that it's very important you manage your self-care. And it's also very important you know who you are. It will not be like that because I have faced life challenges. I face social, emotional, mental, psychological challenges. So today, I'm enlightening you based on my experience, my education, my job, and my lifestyle. I'm telling you, it's very important you look after yourself. So now today, we have looked at self-care, right? We have looked at self-care beyond TikTok coaches, right? We actually understand now that self-care is important, and you need to also understand your natural resilience. We also understand why self-care builds natural resilience. We also talk about self-care build resilience by calming the mind, strengthening self-beliefs, improving energy and well-being. So the last part of it is promoting emotional balance. Self-care build resilience by promoting emotional balance. It teaches you how to respond wisely, slowly, clearly. You see, some people say, talk clearly, calm, calm, be calm. Talk clearly so that people can understand you. So when you can build your self-care and resilience, right? Now, you will be able to manage circumstances. If there's crisis, you need to talk. Even if you are crying, it's okay to cry, right? It's okay to cry. But you must be able to know how to respond wisely instead of reacting impulsively or overreacting. You should be able to pull yourself together. Say, okay, this is me now. I have phases. Let me cry first. Give me a moment to cry. I will explain in a minute. It's okay. Nobody's going to sue you for that. Nobody's going to arrest you for that. Right? You will get arrested by your weakness if you didn't take your time to manage circumstances. Right? So now, let's preamble what we talk about today. We talk about practical self-care in daily lifestyle, right? How to be able to manage it. We mentioned physical, mental, emotional. So now we also talk about the practical actions. So now when we talk about practical actions, let's go back to last week teaching. I talked about the physical part of the practical action when it comes to having enough sleep, 7 to 8 hours sleep, having good hydration, right? Able to stretch yourself, able to make sure you can do the exercise. It doesn't matter. Sleep very well. Take a short walk. Take a short walk. If you are at work, you feel stressed. Always learn to take your break. Take a short walk. If it's just 30 minutes walk around your workplace, walk around. You can even walk from your own department to the next department. Or you can just go and see anybody in their office. Just walk away from your desk. Or stay clear from whatever activity you are doing at any point of time. And able to manage yourself to move on a little bit. You know, why is this very important? The purpose is that it keeps the body strong and it also kickstarts. It restarts your energy and able to balance your moments so that you can carry on. Just when we look at mental, uh, uh, practical self-care in daily life. So it's about understanding your limits, right? Your limit. Don't be too negative. Always plan anything you are doing. Talk about it. Plan your day. Structure yourself what you're going to do. Have scholars around you, right? Always have people you ask questions. Never do things by yourself. If you're not good at it, ask questions. You will always get help. Why is this? It helps you to understand the clarity, how to be focused, how to build your focus-based approach when you are managing people. I know a lot of people will be saying, go and get emotional intelligence. If you do not have your psychosocial self-care intact, your natural resilience will go weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. At the end of the day, you will not be able to manage risk, manage challenges. Then you be the one always asking for help every time. So now, the next step is professional. When we talk about emotional and professional capacity, these are very important. Set clear boundaries, either at work, at home, family, friends, community. Set clear boundaries. Don't always be the one that, especially when you know that you are the easy target because you have natural resilience now. Your energy is so strong. Anywhere you go, there's always question about you. And there's going to be, sometimes you see people argue with you a lot. It's not like they're arguing with you to teach you. They are feeling the energy, saying, it's not just you all the time. You are too independent. You never ask for help. especially someone who give to enslave. Hello, there are some people who give to enslave, and they are not able to enslave you. They are not able to enslave you. So if you are that kind of person, you also need to make sure your emotional and professional self-care is intact, because this protects your peace. Hello? It protects your peace. It protects you, also prevents you from getting over weak, you know, from being exhausted from little things, Oh, you've had enough, you've had enough. I'm going to leave this workplace. I'm going to leave this workplace. I'm going to leave this group. I'm going to leave these people. I don't want to talk to anybody again. I don't like anybody. No, 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 no. Go and look at your emotional and professional self-care and see your resilience, how you fit in those packages so that you can build your balance when it comes to energy. Some of these things can be individual who lack their spiritual awareness. Hello, their spiritual awareness. When I'm talking about spiritual awareness, this is very important. You need to understand your spiritual awareness, the time to reflect, the time to be calm, to be quiet. There are some quiet, don't let people tell you to be quiet. Make sure you understand when you actually need to be quiet, right? When you actually need to be quiet, that moment, the moment of quietness. Some people will take that moment to pray or meditate, right? Or they can start looking at their journal, looking at reflecting on things. They are standing, not talking, but they are reflecting. You know when you reflect. So there should be spiritual moment. Why is this very important? Because this keeps you grounded, and it helps you to stand in the highest energy so that your purpose in life can be achieved. Hello? So your spiritual awareness, your spiritual self-care and resilience is very important. That's why it's very important. Go and look for someone. Ask them, how do I know who I am? How do I know who I am? How do I know who I am? So now I'm going to give you my last advice for today. My last advice today is also making sure this message you are listening to, you're not going to confuse yourself. I don't want to talk too much. Today, my purpose of giving this information is to overcoming uneducated TikTok coaches. There are too many uneducated TikTok coaches, right, everywhere. Now, because we have too many uneducated TikTok coaches, right? When I'm talking about uneducated TikTok coaches, those who just want viewers, doing everything as much as possible, right? To get viewers. They don't care. They don't care about the harm. They don't care about, all they care about their self-interest, right? I'll use the word selfish interest. So now, be careful of social media, because there are too many voices everywhere. Many coaches, sometimes they focus on quick attention. They don't understand professional insight to growth, rise, or they don't care. So whenever you are online, what do you do? Be reflective, be selective, educate yourself, practice. Don't just look at. If you are the coach, you need to also practice what you share, right? You need to also practice what you share. When you talk about love, do you have love? Do you understand love? Have you able to practice love in your community when you post it? Those are questions you need to ask as a coach. So someone who is listening to you now can see the energy, can see the power in your post. They can see you when you talk. Oh, this person must have lived this. That actually metamorphosis built another transfer of energies, like you are advocating. Because right now we're going to 2026, right? About entering into 2026. This is the time we all need to have good education. And the best way to have it is for those who understand, who have good experience, good education to come out to educate the community so that people will not go astray. So now, today, we have understand self-care. And let me tell you, self-care is not luxury, right? It's not a luxury thing. It's just about talking about survival moment. It's for survival purpose. Let me use self-care is for survival purpose. So your natural resilience is your inner frame, your inner shed, right? When you nurture your natural resilience, it empowers you to face criticism, challenges, failure, or distraction without losing yourself, right? So in the world around us today, there are too many noises, as I said, too many uneducated TikTokers. So self-care is your quiet strength to be able to filter out what is good, what is bad, and how can I overcome this so that at the end of the day, when I'm talking, when I'm engaging in society, so I will not lose track of what I had to do. So today, you have understand self-care, resilience, and how to overcome uneducated TikTok coaches in the community. So thank you. My name remains Alex Edigan. You have enjoyed this gift from OFC Training